Here we are in Nias with Mark Flint, founder of KabuNohi Sorake. How you going, Mark?
Good, mate. Yeah.
So when did you first come to Nias?
First come to Nias in 1980. It was a bit of a mission to come through. There was not a lot of things happening out here, transport-wise and that. We had to travel through the jungles of Sumatra. I came in from an island off the coast of Singapore, up through the rivers, up through into Sibolga, and then got on a cargo boat that came out to Nias. So that cargo boat was taking around 17 to 20 hours to get out to here, the north of Nias. And that in 1980 there still wasn't any transport, road transport down to the south where the Saraki wave is, but we had to get a speedboat and we could ride. That was a normal way, speedboat, or you could trek, do the walk trek, 3-day trek down here. But
so what inspired you to come here, to go to all that trouble as an intrepid traveller?
Oh, that, I think everyone who ever saw that photo of Variegators of when Ulus was all getting publicised and you saw the lefts, and then all of a sudden this Variegator put a photo of this palm point with a perfect glassy, oily right-hander. I think that captured a lot of imaginations, but it wasn't actually stated where it was. But you know, if you really want to find things, you can find out. And I knew it was up near the equator, and I met someone who knew someone and said something, and we found out how to do it. You had to bring your own food in when you came in too. That was another thing. We cooked all our own food when we first come in. So it was a mission of great fun because there was perfect waves and no one here.
So this was just you and a couple of buddies?
I come in through myself, by myself. I was travelling with guys, but then this was a mission, and we limited in our language skills, and Indonesia was pretty raw at that time, especially in the South Sumatra region, to come up here. And I travelled by myself, but when I was in Sibolga, because Sibolga has a big port town and it had immigration, so the visas at the time were only 3 weeks, and you could get a 3-week extension or a 2-week extension, 4 weeks and a 2-week extension, so you get a maximum of 6 weeks up. And so that's what you did. And at the immigration, I met another couple of guys who were doing the same mission, and we all come out together.
So you obviously fell in love with the place because you've pretty much been in Indo on and off ever since.
Yeah, well, I was when I was growing up in Newcastle. The guys were after Cyclone Tracy did the trek up there, and then over to Kupang and Timor, and they were on their way to Africa. And I heard all their stories, and they never come out to Nias, but they surfed Ulus and all that. So it was an adventure to do, and I thought I'll slip out to Nias before I go over to Thailand and up into India, and then I was going. My goal was to go to South Africa in Jeffreys Bay, but I never made it. I came here, and this was good enough. I thought it was a perfect ride-in, and no one here, tropics, you know. And I got in with the people pretty well from the start.
So fast forward 37 years to 2017, and you've now set up a beautiful little retreat here at Lagundri Bay. You've called KabuNohi Sorake.
Yes, well, this is my wife's Indonesian. My kids are Indonesian. I've lived in Indonesia nearly more than half my life. So this is our family home that we've set up on the point in Saraki. It's great for me as you get older, and I've surfed, I've made boards, and been involved with the surfing industry all my life from a little kid, from the surf club right through. So when you get to an age like this and lived all my life up here, it's really hard to go back to Australia and fit back in. There's no job opportunities, but here, this is a family home. My wife, my kids, we all own a family home, and we've set a couple of bungalows up, a nice style, and based around back to the village system, which is great up here, the tropical living environment.
Yeah, it's from what I see, it's a first for Nias really in regards to, you know, high level, you know, quality accommodation. And most of the accommodation here is budget lodgements and with no imagination, where you've utilised the local resources and created a traditional look and feel, and with high quality fittings.
Well, that was part of my plan in building my house. And I wasn't. It's not about making a lodgement or anything about all that. But the number one thing I'm based. A lot of my work that I've been previously doing is based in Asia. So I've lived in hotels, I've done this rental and all this, but when we had the land for a long time, and then I said to my wife, look, I'm going to build a nice house for us, and she said it's got to be nice, and the kitchen's got to be nice and all that. So basically we just built our house, but my little passion of using local materials to do some nice bungalows and in the traditional style, and using all my friends, because there's not a lot of work out here, and when you've got a little bit of influence in the community, and then bringing your friends in on the job and using them, even though they're not skilled workers, but training them up to become semi-skilled, and that's what's happened. So I thought I'll give it all back to the community. Whatever I can do, I can put back into the community. It's good. High maintenance in some areas, but you know, we're not buying it and coming through from Medard for product. It's all can be sourced local in the villages, and that's what I like. Where a lot of the businesses are here revolving around cement, hard things that have got to be imported in, and we're losing a lot of tradition through that. So this is becoming an example a little bit of what can be done. It's
a labour of love, so to speak. So
yes.
You're pretty much a respected local, which I've witnessed since I've been here. Your bahasa is amazing, and I can see when you talk to and interact with the locals, you know, it's it's amazing to witness you fluent in in their native tongue, and you obviously get a lot of respect from them for being able to do so.
Well, thinking back, I first came in 1980, and now, you know, we're 2017, and I've seen the generations from the little grommet kids that we gave surfboards to now. A lot of them are lodgement owners, and then they're running their own business. From kids, I've seen them grow up and have their own kids. Now some of their kids are married and having kids, so I'm going through generations there. What I really like here is, and it makes me feel good, is when they respect me, and their kids respect me in the traditional Nias way. So I'm called Om or uncle or grandfather or whatever like that. So that is great,
yes,
as respect, and gives me my sense of place here. You know, there's other people that get jealousies. No, that happens everywhere, but I don't go out of the way to make any enemies in here. There's certain rules. Indonesia is a developing country. All these tourism areas, they want them to create go places, but whatever little influence, especially in environmental management, which is another big thing. If areas like that want to have tourism and increase their tourism, they've got to start thinking about the impact of tourism and sustainable tourism, which is another thing I'm trying to bring into them about our pollution, what we can do, water table management and sewerage and wastages from your kitchens and that. You know, it's like anywhere, even in Australia, we're so used to things as just going and washing, goes down the drain, we don't know where, it's all plumbed into the councils. Here it's not, it goes into the environment. In years down the line, if we don't start talking about it, it could be an overload on tourism and defeat the purpose of creating tourism. So that's a passion with me.
Yeah. You're not just thinking about the short term, you're thinking about the long term, which is very wise. So tell me a bit about your visions for KabuNohi Sorake and what surfers and their partners, families can expect to experience when they come here.
Like I said, it's a family home. My wife's still in Australia, back and forth. My daughter's in Australia, she's just done uni, and my son, he's doing high school, senior high school now. I live here because I can go surfing, I can relax, and I like fiddling. I've got to have a workshop, so I've got a good workshop here to fiddle with things. The future, I think, this is any tourist or anyone who wants to come and stay in our bungalows is walking into a family home. And nice, but it's laid out, open space, tropical living, good clean kitchen, and an upgraded similar Western style menu using good produce and local produce. I'm growing a lot of stuff here, but the concept of the whole thing is you're walking back to the village style, you're coming back into the village style, and that means that you're getting a village style influence with a little bit of modern amenities like air cons, hot water, clean and gardens, nice manicured gardens, and that give you a feel that it's very comfortable and nice to be in.
And you're a bit of a master chef too, and I've been loving sampling your array of cuisine this week. Tell me a bit about the food and the produce that the guests can expect.
Well, you've been lucky. We had a lot of fruits in that ripening, but I try to get as much out of the gardens. I got gingers and a lot of spices, kunyit, turmeric, and ginger. what is it, KabuNohi. A lot of, I don't even know their English names, but they're local things that taste good and they're fresh out of the garden, fresh as best, as I believe. Our bananas and pineapples going off. KabuNohi means coconut garden. So we've got a lot of coconuts around, fruit salads and fish. It's great here. It's unspoiled. So I couldn't say we're going to have a set menu. I'll be looking what's fresh is the best, yes. And whatever comes in the day, that could be, I could use that. And then it's all...
Well, I can personally attest that you've got a fair bit of flair in that kitchen, and...
it's a hobby too.
It's very, very tasty. So, obviously, Lagundri Bay, talking about the surf, so Lagundri Bay, the point is regarded as one of the best barrels in the world. How consistent is the surf here?
Well, this is interesting because it's only known as a perfect wave, and you had to wait a long time for waves and all this, which was coming back to us when in the early 80s, because anyone who came here was a compact that we would go, don't tell anyone. If you go to Bali, just tell everyone there's malaria and all that. So there were a lot of fallacies about Nias. I live here full time, 365 days of the year, and nearly every day you can get some sort of wave, but not saying it's the perfect wave out of the back, the outside point as we call. The wave itself is 3 sections. You've got the point, the keyhole point, and then you've got inside Kitty's Corner or the exercise machine, and then you've got the rice bowl section right at the end, right out in front of our place here. So through a year, if it's not out the back, it's either on the Kitty's Corner or down the rice bowl. And that's only just in Lagundri. Round the corner, if the winds change, we've got other little waves. They're not that exposed, but easy to get to if you want to do it and get out of the bay. But you sit on the point here. Another thing I'd have to say, we're high end here. We're doing the quality and looking after people. All the other lodgements here are doing the same sort of thing, but on a different scale. And one thing, I have people come in, old friends come in here, and they're going, and I say, why are you coming in the high season? Why don't you come in low season? You get more chances of waves. And one of the things, they love to be there here when it's pumping big waves. Go walk around the point, meet all these different people, different nationalities, and watch the pumping waves and have a beer. It's really good. So it's a surf camp. It's owned by all the people here. It's not like a resort that's in the Mentawais or other places that's set up with Westerners and it's isolated. This is a high-end resort in the middle of one of the oldest Indonesian-owned surf camps here. You've got quite a number of lodgements. There's a lot of different people here, but
surf camp, yeah, the village itself.
The village
with
itself.
all the lodgemen is, it's you know, it's what
it's
you call
been all created from
camp.
us. We've subcultured the society here.
Yeah.
You can see it yourself. They talk the talk. They surf really good.
Oh.
You know, they give us a surf magazine. You know, sort of thing. Oh, you know, I've got a leg rub to trade, and they're the fins. And I see it with the kids. You know, especially the new styles of fins and all that. They all know what's going on. It's really good. And watching that gives me energy actually watching this go on. And we got our kids, all the little locals under our wings on thing, and give them direction and be nice to tourists, and it works out better for them instead of trying to rip everyone off. Or they're grommets. That's what it is. It's all about grommets.
Yeah,
it's good fun.
And obviously the surrounding outlying regions, you know intimately, since you ran the Nauli charter boat in North Sumatra for many years. So you've got a speedboat, and you're planning on doing a bit of exploration and taking guests to other options around the place. Yeah,
the surfing is outside of the region, and my hobby, I've been on the water for years. I've got 2 boats here. I've got a speedboat with 85 horse just for local, running around up in the local islands and along the coastline, fast and safe. And then I've got a little 15 horse runabout dinghy that we can get out and do camera work off the side here, and also a little bit can go around the headlands and fishing. We do a lot of fishing. I personally love fishing when I can get a chance. It's the time thing for me. But I'm into doing because the water here, it drops off really fast, so you don't have to go off far to get into the drop-offs, and that's you get a lot of big variety of dogtooth tuna and pelagics coming in here. So fishing's another good thing, and that's usually on the way to go to the surf break. So we'll go surfing. Usually got to feed a fish on the way back too.
Ideal. Okay, well, it's been great to come and experience KabuNohi Sorake, and I'm sure many guests coming here in the future are going to enjoy your hospitality and the feel of this tropical oasis.
Yeah, we'll be pleased to help people out and steer them in the right direction. Any information, even if you're not staying here, people can come in and talk to me. I like having a bit of chat and give them steer in the right direction. You sort of watch. It's Indonesia. A lot of things can happen, and that's so. If anyone needs any advice, quite welcome.
Oh, well, good to know they're in safe hands. Thanks for your time, Mark.
Okay, mate. Good one.